Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. And for all of the sensors out there, I want to just let you know again, I always tell you that at the New Health Conversation, we don't give any claims. Everything that we share with is within community guidelines. It's based on medical facts and medical proof. Nothing's our opinion. We don't make claims. We only show medical proof. We've also written 4 best-selling books, all medical research. It's our research. So anything that we're stating to the audiences is based on medical proof. Hello, everybody. So K-Stone is here, and 123 is here, and Glucose is here, and Danny and Sherry, all people that are here. So I think the main thing to take a look at is the fact that that is not Photoshop. Want this to be you? This is backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies in the biggest medical journals in the world. It's just published in the last 14 or 15 months. It's making every single diet out there obsolete. I mean, look at her, day 1 to day 30. The actual numbers, I'm going to show them to you right now. She lost 21 pounds, 38 inches in just 30 days. No exercise allowed. I know you're all skeptical immediately. You're spinning out going, oh, it's unhealthy to lose that much weight. You can't be on, it's not a diet. If it was a diet, number one, any of you, tell me honestly, put in the chat, if you wanted to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? So what we're going to do today is we're going to explain to you exactly what this is, how it works, why it's so unique, because there's no equivalency to this. As a matter of fact, it's the only program in the world, diet, weight loss, etc., with 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. For those not familiar with medical studies, there's nothing higher in medical research than peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. So what you're looking at there is not Photoshop, that's real. Hi, Donna. Hi, Karen. Hi, Moses. Hello, Trish, Reba, Michael Meek, Julie, Melody, Jacqueline. Wow, lots of people joining. Wonderful. Good afternoon, evening, whatever part of the world you're tuning in from. My name is Peter Greenlaw. I started the New Health Conversation. This podcast is 100% free. It's not an infomercial. It's live. Also, I want you all to understand at any point, you can see above her head there, hopefully you can all read that in blue, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website. If you go there, we won't contact you. The only thing there is the medical proof backing up what we're showing you in these before and afters. I will explain it to you in just a moment. But before I do that, I want to show, I'd love for anybody to give me a comment. Hello, Neka. Hello, Sydney. Hello, Jasmine. Hello, Joyce. Hello, Walker. Hello, Ginger. Lots of people joining us. If you like the content, well, I know it's a little early, but if you do, just tap on the screen so we can get some likes going up there, all right? We've had really great success over the last few days with people really enjoying the content, which is really amazing. Oh, there we go. We're getting a few likes now. So Katie, Jenny, Evie, lots and lots of people joining. I'm Michelle, I believe that is L. Say hi, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that, whatever. Okay, so this is not the only one. I'm going to show you that it's not Photoshopped, it's not AI. When you see the next picture, you may think it's a different woman. It's not. So in this case, Julie, she lost 35 pounds in 37 days. Just look at the picture. The picture's worth 1,000 words. Look at her face, look at her neck, look at her arms, look at her waist, look at her legs. Look at how much she actually shrank. You have to understand on this what's happening to people despite losing tremendous amounts of weight. For the most part, they end up with no loose skin. Why? Because instead of losing lean muscle mass, which is, in case you didn't know it, on any diet, any of you're on, 25 to 40% of what you're losing is actually lean muscle mass, believe it or not. So it's completely important that you understand this is not a diet. It doesn't work anything like a diet. So that's 30. Now, this is the daughter of a friend of mine. I know her. By the way, the pictures you're looking at are 8 or 9 years ago. They've kept the weight off now for 8 or 9 years. That's another really important part behind this. But look at this, everyone. How about 60 pounds in 30 days? I know you think it's Photoshopped. It's not. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her waist there. Look at that. Jasmine, I'm going to explain it to you in just a moment. Please just be patient. I just want to show you the other before and after pictures. These are not Photoshopped. It's not a diet. Excuse me, I'm still waiting for someone to put in the chat. If you wanted to lose 20 pounds, 20, pick any workout person you want, any diet, how long would you say you'd be happy if you could lose 20 pounds? In what time period? If anybody put it in the chat, it'd just be cool. I'm going to just show you one man's picture because I want you not just to focus on the weight loss, but look at the medical changes. This is an older gentleman, 40 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days. And look at his lab work. A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124. That's in 30 days, everyone, with no exercise allowed. No one was exercising because the researchers, they're not against exercise, but they wanted to isolate exercise so it wouldn't be part of it. So let's come back to Christian. Now I'm going to tell you how this came about. First of all, it was invented or created by the world's top weight loss nutrition physiologists. They're rated the #1 in the world. They've been doing research for 40 years on hundreds of diets, thousands of people, and they came to one conclusion that we're going to show you all kinds of medical proof now, and that is that in every case, on every diet, people lost weight initially. But in all the diets they studied, up to 2/3 of people were gaining more weight than they lost. And here's why. A diet is so misguided, we're told the wrong thing. Calories in, calories out. I get in these big arguments with these trainers that want to argue that. Well, here's the problem with that. A human body doesn't know what a calorie is, just a measurement. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories. I don't know why they get stuck on this ridiculous argument. The only thing your body knows and cares about is nutrition. So when you go on a diet, what are you actually doing? You're reducing the amount of food you're consuming, you're reducing the amount of nutrition. That's what these researchers figured out. So the goal was, how do we increase the nutrition, but without increasing the quantities of food? So basically, can we lower the amount of food we gave to her, but increase nutrition? Here's how they did it. They, being the world's top nutrition weight loss physiologists, put together food groupings based on serving sizes, proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, fruits. And 30% of what she consumed and everybody else that I've showed you so far consumed these foods that were, let's call them analyzed, engineered by the researchers. By the way, the researchers, they don't have any products. They don't have a company. They don't sell anything. They're scientists, okay? 30% of what she consumed came from the grocery list they put together that you would get if you do the program. But the other 70% of what she consumed was not from these researchers, but other researchers who had gone to regions of the world where people are living to be 100 years old and not getting sick. And they brought those nutrients back, okay? And so a big, well, 70% of what she consumed were from those nutrients. Now, it's not just that those foods from places like Russia and Mongolia, Tibet and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand. It wasn't just that they had huge quantities of nutrition in very little quantity of food. They had nutrients that don't exist in North America. Things, for example, that lower stress in your body. Anybody like to lower stress? And inflammation. Now, they proved it medically. In a month's time, they proved inflammation, which is the underlying cause of every disease out there that I have, you have, it came out 25% in 30 days. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, making any medical claims whatsoever. But it's right in the study. All we're doing is stating for you what's in the medical studies. We don't make things up. We don't make claims. All these other diets you're following, they're giving you opinions. Oh, it's about calories in, calories out. Of course, that's been proven. It has? Where? Where? Because all the studies that are done on diets show pitiful, pitiful, pitiful results. This is revolutionary. This is going to change everything you ever thought about diet, exercise, and nutrition. Now, so they had the ingredients now, right? 30% from the grocery store, I explained that to you. 70% from these food groups, some of which came from areas where people living to be 100 years old and longer. And now they had to figure out how were they going to have people eat this stuff. Well, 5 days a week, she and everybody else had 4 meals a day. You heard me, 4. Starting with these exotic foods from around the world. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal from these exotic foods from around the world. So that was 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. Everybody got that? 2 days a week, she and everybody else did a new concept called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not this ridiculous time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time, she ate 8 times a day. Yes, she was having something about every hour and a half. And 20 pounds in 30 days. Well, that's what she did, okay? Use the 608. I'd love to lose 20 pounds in 30 days. Okay, great. Well, not only that, but look at Julie. Look what she did in 5 weeks. In 37 days, she lost 35 pounds. I mean, and then look at April here, everyone. How about that one? How about 60 pounds in 3 months? 60. That's 5 pounds a week. I mean, look at that. And that's with no exercise at all. I mean, is that just crazy? I mean, you can say it's photo. It looks like a different girl. Her hair is different, but it's the daughter of a friend of mine who's a realtor. We didn't Photoshop this. This is real. And the main reason to do this is not to lose weight. I'm going to explain that to you in a moment. So let's come back to Kristen for just a moment. The main reason to do this, if you've been paying attention to the news, they just announced 3 weeks ago, they're finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries. But guess what else they're finding in our bodies? Herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon and flame retardants. And I discovered a registered trademark new medical syndrome at the patent office called TDOS. T for toxicity, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark U.S. patent office. What does it mean? It means that you and me and everybody, we're breathing, we're drinking, we're eating chemicals, whether you know it or not. And what your body's doing in my body to protect us is taking those chemicals and stuffing it in our fat cells. Look at her waist on day one. That's the fat, because what happens, see, people tell you burn fat. That's just a lie. You're born with the same number of fat cells. You die with the same number of fat cells. They can expand or contract. Well, you can see what's going on. In the studies that these researchers did, they measured blood, stool, urine, and fat and proved that this was removing chemicals, assisting the body in removing chemicals. Look at the shrinkage. That's why she shrank, because the chemicals are coming. See, the fat cell, when you put the chemical in there, expands like a balloon. Well, if you take the chemical out, the fat cell can, it's the same thing. Like, look at Julie. Look at her waist. Look at that. Look at her legs. It's not just that she lost 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at the transformation with not setting 1 inch in the gym. You're not buying anything. What are we buying? I love it when people come on. What are we buying? We don't sell anything. Now, what people do, if they want, these researchers that created this, they don't have any products. We don't have any products. They put together new food combinations. Yes, you would buy. You got to eat, don't you? So you're going to do 30 days. Well, depending on how much weight you have to lose, but you start 30 days at a time. 30% of the food you would buy comes from the grocery store. You have to eat. But it was developed by the top weight loss nutrition researchers in the world to give you serving sizes of protein, carbs, fats, vegetables, fruits, etc. Totally different protocol. And then 70% of the food you would consume, you'd buy directly from these suppliers who went to areas of the world where people living to be 100 years old and not getting sick. And these nutrients are what they fed to these people, along with regular food. So what are we buying? Your life. I mean, look at that, 35 pounds in 37 days. Are you going to show me a diet where you can do that? What would it be? With no exercise at all. And then look at Curtis, everyone, an older guy, 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. That's not look at his stomach. Now, you can think he's sucking in. You can't suck it in that much. No way. But look at his blood work. His A1C, 8.4 to 6.4 triglycerides, 242 to 124. That's in 30 days, not 30 weeks. 30 days. So again, Dre, what's the plan? What are we buying? Okay, so let me go over it again. I know new people are coming on. Well, first of all, let me explain something to you. You see right above her head in blue, everyone, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website. If you go there, we won't contact you. But everything's there, including the medical studies, including a real breakdown in much more detail about what they actually did. I'm going to give you the shorter version because I know everybody has a really short attention span. And already, see, you're trying to make judgments on something no one's ever seen anything like this, so don't feel bad. I know you're trying to compare to diets and counting calories and working out. No one's ever done it. This took 40 years for them to figure, 40 years. Thousands of people, every diet they looked at, and every time people lost weight initially, they ended up 2/3 gaining more weight than they lost. We got 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. Do any of you think diets work? Really? I'm not saying you do. I'm not making a judgment. So let's talk about what did they do. So the researchers figured out, here's why diets can't work. It has nothing to do with calorie counting. Everybody doesn't know what a calorie is. That's the most ridiculous thing people, and they want to get big arguments with you. You don't know what you're talking about. It's all about calorie. No, it's not. That's nonsense. Because a calorie is it's a measurement. It's not a real thing. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories. You're hungry for nutrition. So when you go on a diet, think about it. What are you doing? You're reducing the amount of food you're consuming. At the same time, what else are you reducing? Nutrition. The researchers knew this, so they said, can we figure out a way we'll give her less food, but give her food with way more nutrition? That was the whole concept. And how did they do it? They put together a grocery list. 30% of what she consumed came from the grocery store, only 30%, and gave serving sizes, not calorie counts, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, vegetables, etc. But the other 70%, like I was saying, comes from these other suppliers, not the people who created this, because they don't have any products. They don't sell anything. We don't have anything to sell. But you get to buy directly from these suppliers who'd gone to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. And in some of those areas, people are living to be 100 years old and don't get sick. Well, they brought some of those nutrients back. That's what they were feeding these people. Look at what happened. Do you know in a month, people's hunger came down 41%? Cravings in 3 or 4 days came down 30, 40%. So all of a sudden, people weren't craving chocolate and pizza and all the things they had before. Because the body is screaming at you every day for nutrition. It is not screaming at you for calories. It is not screaming at you for food. We eat food because it tastes good? Not really. We eat it because of the nutrition inside. So now they had the ingredients, right? 30% from the grocery store, 70% from these foods around the world. And then they created 2 new ways of consuming the food. 5 days a week, she and everybody else had 4 meals a day. 4. Starting with these exotic foods from around the world, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these foods around the world. That was 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, they did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods. But this time, she and everybody else ate 8 times a day. Yeah, they were eating like every hour and a half. But look at the results. Look at the results. Has anyone ever seen it? Oh, up to 323 likes. Thank you, everybody. Tap on that screen if you like the content. You understand we only give you medical proof. This isn't this is not an infomercial. This is medical proof. Now, I understand that I'm shaking you all up by saying calorie counting is dead, but it's not me saying that. I got people like Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said it's time to concentrate on what's in the food, not how much food we're consuming. Well, these researchers who have nothing to do with Harvard, that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what you're looking at. It wasn't about how much food, it wasn't about calories, it was about how much nutrition. And what they figured out, okay, if we can give the body excess over and above the minimum amount of nutrition. See, why is nutrition so important? Because that's what runs your body, your brain, your heart, your kidney. It doesn't run on calories. It doesn't run on food. It runs on the nutrition inside the food. Does this make sense, everybody? Now, let's look at a huge study done by Medicare. This is where, people spin out when I tell them this, right? Title, Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. That's from Medicare saying. Our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calories in, calories out restricted diets to assess whether dieting calories in, calories out is an effective treatment for obesity. Okay, listen to what they said. The studies showed that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on their diets. In summary, there's little support for the notion that calories in, calories out leads to lasting weight loss or health benefits. What are you all doing? You're counting calories. Don't tell me you're not. Don't tell me you're not in some form counting calories. Or the other thing, like saying you're doing carnivore, which we support, but in a completely different way, you're limiting carbohydrates. You need carbs. You need fats, carbs, and proteins in the right amounts and the right kinds. So that is still a deficiency there. And when the brain senses not enough fuel, it automatically slows down your metabolism. My God, haven't you all experienced that? Like you start right away and you start losing a pound or 2 a week, whatever it is, and then it slows to nothing. Then you plateau. Then you get discouraged. You quit the diet. You gain everything back, and then you look for a new diet. Woo, listen. Johns Hopkins Medical School, new study. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. Does that sound to you like dieting is going to work for you long term? We're not arguing. You can use calorie, whatever you want, a method you want to use, starvation, the grapefruit diet, I don't care what it is. You'll lose weight initially. But you all know you're gaining it all back. I go to the gym twice a week and I see men and women in there on the treadmill, they're running, they're sweating, they're lifting weights. They're not losing an ounce. They look exactly the same every single week. Nothing changes. Nothing. I mean, look at this. That's 30 days. I mean, my God, look at this. 38 inches. That's what's so significant. And then Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days? Look at the body change in her with no exercise allowed. No, detox beverages and supplements. No, no. Back by a money back guarantee. The suppliers who supply 70% of what you consume, not us, we have nothing to do with that. In the first month, if you're unhappy, you don't like the taste, doesn't matter, they'll give you all your money back. Thanks for pointing that out. Okay, Suzanne, here's the difference. Okay, Suzanne, listen to me carefully. What happens on diets, okay, let me explain to you. When the brain senses not enough nutrition, okay, it slows down the metabolism, but it increases your hunger. It does. It just does. That's what happens, right? In these studies, to let you know, like that picture's 9 years old. She lost that weight 9 years ago. But the major difference is in these medical studies, not an opinion on my part, hunger came down 41%. Why? Because as the body gets enough nutrients, the hunger goes away. The reason people revert back on diets, well, number one, they've slowed down the metabolism. So even if they try to go back to eating normally, you understand that's why they gain all the weight back, because they've lost lean muscle mass. It's not up for debate. 25 to 40% of what people lose on any diet is lean muscle mass. I have another big study here. Well, let me talk about calories first. Okay, this is medical. Why calorie counting is ridiculous. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is it ignores that the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. But you're really reducing food, which you're reducing nutrition. Let's be clear, right? So while the calories in, calories out formula can support people achieving weight loss initially, the reduction in nutrition intake ensures that the lost weight will be regained because you're craving what you didn't have. And now it's worse. Why do you think these people have these insatiable appetites? Because you understand when you lose lean muscle mass, it takes you anywhere from a year to 5 years to recover. So by that time, you're on a new diet. Well, you never got the muscle back, and people, that's why they have all the loose skin, all the fat. They tell us that all the time. I mean, look at this. Look at April, daughter of a friend of mine, 60 pounds in 3 months. Where's the loose skin, everybody? Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her waist area. That is not Photoshop. That's not happening on diets, is it? Is it? Who wants to tell me they lost 60 pounds in 3 months? That's all she needs to lose, by the way. She looks pretty good after that, right? Yes. Yes, this is good for vegetarians as well. There's a vegetarian version, just to let you know. Is it Bailey or Bally? I don't want to mispronounce your name. 23.7 minerals. Okay, beverage backed with money back guarantee. Is it good for vegetarians? Yes, yes. Can we get some more taps on the screen? 430. We've only got 400. I did one last night. I had 26,000 views. I guess they liked it, but I went on for like 3 hours. So if you like what you're seeing, tap on the screen. If you don't, it's fine. Okay, I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to educate you. And if you really want to do this, then go to the website. It's right here. See the medical proof. And if you like what you see, scroll down. It's right above. It says it. Free coaching. It's free coaching the whole time. Because it's not a question, can we get the weight off you? It's teaching you how to keep it off for the rest of your life. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's what should excite you. Right? But, I mean, it's just so, and then you look at Curtis. Almost 41 pounds and 52 inches in a month, and he's an older guy. But look at his blood work, everyone. Look at his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 124. And then we got Andy. He's younger, of course, but 45 pounds, 60 inches in 30 days. Again, look at his blood work, lab work. A1C 7.9, 6.2. Look at his bad cholesterol. Went from 120 to 59 in 30 days. 30 days. This is not 30 weeks. Do you all get this? You think this is a diet? No. I'm going to put it in the chat. This is about a revolutionary new, you can see that's what it's about. How people are losing 5 pounds a week easily, no exercise. It's not a diet. It's revolutionary. It's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. And I promise in a moment I'll go over it again because we have new people coming on all the time. Virginia, I'm talking to you. So Virginia and everybody else, because I know we got new people coming all the time. All right, how in the world is this possible? Virginia, let me ask you a question if you don't mind. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But say you wanted to lose 20 pounds. You could pick any fitness trainer you want in the world. You can do any diet you want. How long would you think it would take you normally to lose 20 pounds? Any of you can answer. I'm just really curious because I think I know what the answers are. I do this enough and people come on. So if anybody, yeah, Virginia, I promise I'll explain it to you. But again, if you don't mind, would you let us know, what do you think to lose 20 pounds normally? How long would it take safely on a diet with 6 months? Okay, that Virginia, thank you for being honest. I mean, but Virginia, what do you think when you look at that? 21 pounds in a month in 30 days, not 6 months, with no exercise. Virginia, no exercise. Link not opening. Well, what did you put? You can't. Okay, here it is. Hold on this. It's the new, sorry. No spaces, by the way, Bailey. There's no spaces. It's the new health conversation. Let me put it. So you see it right there? The new health conversation. No spaces. It works, I know. I always check it before I come on the lives. So put that in there. It's definitely working. Moonstruck for Mia. Oh, okay. Who else would like, okay, so I'm going to answer Virginia's question now and all your questions. How did they do this? Okay, so let's start from the beginning. The reason Virginia diets don't work is they're telling you to count calories. Huge problem with that. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. A calorie is just a measurement. The only thing your body cares about is nutrition. And when you go on a diet, instead of counting calories, you're really lowering the amount of food you're consuming. I don't care what the name of the diet is. And at the same time, you're lowering nutrition. When that happens, the brain figures out there's not enough fuel. It goes in starvation mode, prevents you from accessing the fuel in your fat cells, and turns to your muscles for fuel. And then the brain doesn't have a choice. It slows down your metabolism. So that's where the weight loss draws to a halt, and then you plateau, then you come off the diet and get everything back. So the researchers said, wait a minute. After the people who invented this, by the way, Virginia, are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world, okay? 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, they figured this out. And what they figured out was this, that the only thing that mattered to our body was, do we have enough nutrition? Didn't matter how much food it contained, etc. But the goal was, can we give people less food by quantity, but increase the nutrition? So here's how they did it. They put together a food list of proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits that represented serving sizes, not calories. So 30% of what she bought, what she consumed, came from the grocery store, but only 30%, those specific foods that the researchers picked out based on the nutritional density of their nutritional contribution, right? But only 30%. The other 70%, Virginia, came from other researchers. By the way, these researchers that invented this, they have no products. They don't sell anything. We don't sell anything. You buy directly from the suppliers who had gone to the far reaches of the world in some of the areas where people are living to be 100 years old and basically didn't get sick. So they brought back these nutrients from those areas and other areas. They went to Russia, they went to Mongolia, they went to Tibet, they went to South America, New Zealand, and brought these back. Those elements were used in 70% of what she was consuming came from those exotic food nutrients from around the world. This is not lotions, potions, pills, supplements, or shots. No, it's food. So then they had the ingredients, but they didn't have the recipe. So they invented 5 days a week. Everybody had 4 meals a day, Virginia. They started with these world's most perfect meals for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner, your normal dinner, another meal from these foods from around the world. So that was 5 days a week, 4 times a day. 2 days a week, they did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these foods from around the world. But this time, 8 feedings, 8 times a day she was eating. She was having something an hour and a half to 2 hours. And look at the results. But the other part that's even more important to this, it's not a weight loss program. It's not a diet. It doesn't work like that. The main reason to do it is something you probably have never heard of, most of you, and that's because every one of us, including me, has the TDOS syndrome. T stands for toxicity, the D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a new medical syndrome. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Yeah, I did discover it, okay, but that doesn't matter. What we're doing, we're drinking, we're breathing, we're eating chemicals, whether you know it or not. Hopefully you all saw the thing 3 weeks ago. They're now finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries, but they're also finding herbicides and pesticides and Scotch guard and Teflon in our fat cells. So what the body's doing to try and protect us, Virginia, is you ingest these chemicals that you can't avoid. The body takes that chemical to protect you and stuffs it inside your visceral fat. That's the fat around your organs. You can see it right there in her waist on day one. See that bulge you're looking at? That, what happens with the fat cell when you inject it with the chemical, the fat cell expands. So anybody telling you, Virginia, or anybody else, that you burn fat, it's total lie. We're born with the same number of fat cells. We die with the same number of fat cells over our lifetime. Those fat cells can expand or contract. And most people complain, it's not just how much weight they've gained, but how much fat they have on the body. But we're evolving as a species to store the chemicals. Well, in these studies, the researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, proving this protocol, first and foremost, was assisting the body in removing the chemicals from the body. That's why the weight loss is so spectacular. That's why they shrank. Also, you need to understand, with no exercise allowed, not that the researchers were getting exercise against it, I'm sorry, but they didn't want it to be a factor. So no one is allowed to exercise, and yet in a month, they gain 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no one's ever seen anything like this before. It's not a diet, it's a detox if it's anything. So what are you all doing about detoxing your body? Don't tell me you're doing paleo or keto or Mediterranean or carnivore or whatever it is. No, you're not. There's never been a study on any of those traditional diets removing in a gram of a toxin from the body until now, because this is a detox first and foremost. That's the main factor. The weight loss is a great throw-in. And if you look at someone like Julie here, look at her waist area. Look at how much that shrank. That's 37 days, 35 pounds. But the point is, she's detoxing her body. Now, by the way, it's not a colon cleanse. It's nothing to do with that. It's a cellular cleanse in nature. But we have the proof that this is removing. Why wouldn't you want to remove the chemicals from your body? Please, anybody, put in the chat. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Right? Bailey, thumbs up. You like it so far, Bailey. Great, great. Oh, so it opened for you that time, Bailey? I just want to make sure. It opened. For all of you, it's really important that you understand. Look at April, everybody. Does that look like the same person? I mean, really, it is. It's the daughter of a friend of mine who's a realtor. But look at that picture. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her waist. Wow, we're only at 569 likes. That's it? That's it? You don't like the content? Let's get some taps going. Let's get this thing going here, right? So, anyway, the new people that are coming on, would anybody like to ask me a question? But here's the most important thing for all of you. If you look right above her name in blue, it says the New Health Conversation. That's what Bailey was asking me about. That's the website to go and see the medical proof. And if you go there, we won't contact you. We don't do that. We don't need to do that. But if you like what you see, you can scroll down. And when you scroll down, you can get, it says right there, free coaching. It's not a gimmick. It's totally free coaching the whole time. Part of the reason we do that, we have kids as young, well, actually my grandson, he started on this when he was about 14 months old, once he stopped breastfeeding with his mom. We got kids as young as, well, 14, and then we got kids at 2. We have a lady, 91 years old. We have an 80-year-old. She lost 91 pounds in 8 months. 8 months ago, she couldn't climb a flight of stairs. 8 months later, she's playing pickleball 3 times a week, swimming 3 times a week, and walking 4 miles a day. That's just crazy. It's not a diet. I mean, I want you all to understand, it's not a diet. I mean, obviously, you're looking at the weight loss and you get all excited. The main reason to do it is to detox, to assist your own body in removing chemicals. You know, they did a study on newborn infants 8 years ago, and they looked at the cord blood in infants coming in the world, and they're coming in the world with an average of 287 toxic chemicals in their blood at birth. So if an infant is that many chemicals, how many chemicals do you think you have stored in your body? No diet has ever touched the chemicals in our body, period, until now. So what diet do you think you're going to, tell me what diet you're going on to detoxify your body? Which one would it be? Let alone being able to lose like what she did. How many of you would be happy with losing 21 pounds in 30 days with no exercise, and look at the change in her body composition and gain 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise? Now, if you want to exercise, it's great. I'm going to show you an athlete in a minute. It'll blow your mind in 11 days. This is not a diet. It doesn't work that way. Okay? And just because you're thin doesn't mean you're healthy. Just because you're thin doesn't mean you're not storing chemicals inside your fat cells, because you are. It's not up for debate. You are. So let's take a look at the athlete, because this will give you even a different perspective. This is not photoshopped in every way. Look at day 1. Look at the abdomen area. And then, actually, this is day 5. It's the morning of day 5. So it's only 4 days. Look at that. And then the morning of day 12, 11 days. Look at that transformation. That's in 11 days, not 11 weeks. I mean, come on. What's happening, that's the fat shrinking and lean muscle mass being, now granted, he did work out. There's no doubt about it. So if you're on here and you're an athlete or you want to work out or you want to ultimately get to that point, I want to get to that point, okay? But that is not photoshopped in any way. As a matter of fact, I kind of know that person. That's my youngest son, everybody. So obviously, I'm not photoshopping my own. I mean, I guess you could, people believe anything, but we don't need to do that. Why don't we need to do it? Because we have the medical proof for you to go and look at. And you've got to understand, when you're talking about peer-reviewed human trial studies, there's nothing, you can't edit them. You can't mess with them. There's no there's no input on our part to change whatever the numbers are. I know you're all skeptical. And again, let me put it at the bottom again for all of you, the website in the comments, as well as it is up there on top of the page. So it's the New Health, New Health Conversation. Okay, hold on. I just posted, I spelled it wrong, I'm sorry. There's no M. The New Health Conversation. There we go. Okay, now the last post there, you'll see that's the correct website, the New Health Conversation, no spaces, just as it stands, and it'll take you right to the website. But I'd love some comments. Again, what do you think about that picture? Be honest with me. Do you think it's Photoshop? Do you think it's AI? Do you think that's healthy? Do you think it's unhealthy? I'd love some of your opinions. Because it's proven that it's safe. That's number one in the medical studies. That's the biggest thing is, but think about what you're actually doing. You're following nice people, medical doctors, chiropractors, dietitians, nutritionists, weight loss people, whatever, but they don't have one shred of medical evidence. They're telling you, they're selling you this nonsense about it's all about calories in, calories out. Well, how would that work when the body has no idea what a calorie is? Do you all get that? Your body only cares about nutrition. It doesn't even know what a calorie is. So why you're counting those? So what happens when you count calories? You're reducing the amount of food you're consuming, which means you're reducing the amount of nutrition. See, if it was strictly based on calories, if all it was you lower calories to lose weight, let me give you an example. So let's say we landed on, okay, I'm going to do 1,500 calories a day to lose weight. You got two different diet choices. Door number one, lean, proteins, vegetables, etc. 1,500. Remember, they're telling you it's only about calories in, calories out, right? But think about this once. So 1,500 calories from lean eating. The other, remember, they're telling you it's only about calories. The other 1,500 calories comes from 3 bags of M&Ms. Wait a minute, I thought it was just about the calories in and calories out. Does this make sense to everybody? Put a yes in there. Oh, we got 1,000 likes now. Great, great, great. Robin, it's not a product, okay? I'm going to explain that to you, I promise you, in just 1 second. Effectively, Robin, what it is, the researchers who've done 40 years of research to create this, they're the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They put together food groups. They don't sell anything. They don't have any products. It's not a lotion, potion, pill, or capsule. So 30% of the food she consumed, the researchers put together fats, proteins, carbs, vegetables, fruits, but instead of giving her calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes only based on nutritional content, okay? But only 30% of what she consumed. The other 70% that you would purchase comes from other suppliers, not the people who created this. They don't have any products. We don't sell you anything. But those researchers had gone to the far reaches of the world, including areas where people are living to be 100 years old and didn't get sick, and brought those food groups and nutrients back to the United States. And these researchers accessed the ones that they wanted to create this new food, but with huge amounts of nutrition, not huge amounts of quantity. So 30% from the grocery store, you would get 70% from these foods around the world. And then they created 2 completely new ways of consuming the food, Robin. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day, 4. Started with these exotic foods around the world, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these food groups from around the world. That was 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting, or water fasting, or time-restricted eating, nothing to do with that. On those days, no food from the grocery store at all, only these foods from around the world. But Robin, they let her eat, and everybody else on the protocol. She ate 8 times a day. She was having something every hour and a half to 2 hours. At the end of a month, when they measured, people's hunger had gone down by 41%. In as little as a week, people's cravings went down by as much as 40%. And people's blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, all came down dramatically in 30 days. And inflammation, which you suffer from, I suffer from, every person suffers from, for the first time ever, never in history before had they ever seen this, inflammation came down 25% in 30 days. I know it sounds too good to be true, but those pictures aren't photoshopped. And then look at Julie here. That's 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at the change in her body. Look at her waist. Look at her legs. You can even see her arms. She literally shrank. Why? Because what we're doing, whether you know it or not, we're living in an unbelievably toxic world as we're ingesting these herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon. The body takes that chemical and stuffs it in our fat cells, and the fat cells expand. See, you don't lose fat cells. There's no such thing as burning fat at the gym or running or no. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number, but the fat cells can expand or contract. And they expand as the body stores the chemical inside. Well, if you can remove the chemicals, which they prove, so blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, the fat cells shrink with no exercise. Remember, no exercise in any of these pictures because the researchers didn't want exercise to be part of it. They isolated it, right? And then this is the daughter of a friend of mine. That is absolutely true. 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her waist. It's not photoshopped, everybody. That is absolutely real. It's not photoshopped. It's not AI. And again, it's backed up by these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies, and everything you want to see is on the website. It's free to go there and look at all the medical proof. And if you like what you see, you can scroll down and actually sign up for a free coach. The coaching's 100% free. We got coached. You've never done anything like this before. Don't think you have. You haven't, okay? And I'm going to show you the website is right. You can see above her head there in blue. Everybody hopefully can read that. The New Health Conversation, no spaces. Don't you think we need one? And then above, free coaching to ensure your success. Not only does the coach meet with you initially, but they coach you the whole way through to get you to your goal. Because that picture you're looking at is 9 years ago. She's kept the weight off for 9 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks. 23 years ago, I've kept it off for 23 years. So it's not a diet. It doesn't work anything like a diet. It's not a product. You're not buying a product. You're buying food. You're basically going to eat for a month. But you're going to eat foods you can't get at your grocery store, 70% of them. And then you're going to eat in ways you've never eaten before. 4 meals a day? Really? 4 meals a day? Really? I know it sounds good to be true, but it's better than that. Look at the results, everybody. Look at the results. So, we're at 1,000 likes. That's great. Can we get some more taps? Hello, Pamela. Hello, Julie. Hello, Miss M. Who else would like to make a comment? Or ask a question, I should say. That's a better way to say it. I'm at about 42 minutes into this. I'm probably going to go for another 8 or 10 minutes. I have to leave in 5 minutes. And then after that, and then I'll probably do another live podcast. Let's see, I'm just trying to figure it out now. Say like around 11:30 Eastern Standard Time today. I normally do 3 or 4 of these podcasts a day because there's so many people that need this information. But also I want to invite all of you, look, that website, the New Health Conversation, share it with your friends. They don't have to be on my podcast to go there because all the medical proof is there. And if they like, then they scroll down and get a free coach. I know. No, Jake, it's not surgery. Absolutely not. No, Jake. Good question, though. See, they can't believe it, everybody. Jake, wonderful question. See, they've never seen anything like this. Nobody has. But if you look at this older guy, look at his stomach. That's 30 days with no sit-ups, no exercise of any kind. But the good thing is, look at his blood work, his lab work. A1C 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124 in 30 days, everyone. 30 days. So any other questions? Well, it looks like we're stalled at 1,100 likes. If anybody likes this, tap on the screen so we can get a few more likes here today. So would anybody like to ask me a final question before I have to sign off on this particular podcast? I'm happy to do that. Or anybody, if you want to ask me a question, I'll stick around and answer it. Otherwise, what I encourage all of you to do is, again, you can see it right up there at the top, the New Health Conversation. I'm also going to put it in the chat right below at the bottom here, the New Health Conversation. Hold on just a minute. Oh, I just got to get it to post. There we go. You can see it there, the New Health. I want to make sure I spelled it right. Conversation. Yeah, that website is free to go there. We will not contact you if you go there. The only way we can contact you is if you contact us. We believe you're looking for us a lot harder than we're looking for you. But we want you to be comfortable, to go look at the medical proof. You don't have to believe me, you don't have to believe us, but the medical proof is there, including an interview with the #1 nutrition weight loss physiologist in the entire world. He and his team created this. And in that video, he says they'll never recommend to any of their patients ever again any form of traditional diet. They're the #1 people in the world, the top people, rated the top researchers for this field. Would you believe him? Or you see, you're following these nice people. I see them on social media, but what are they doing? Well, they're giving you opinions. There's lots of opinions, I guarantee you. But where's the medical proof? Where are the medical facts? Whenever I get challenged, I always ask them, do you have peer-reviewed human trial studies? It's crickets. I never hear a darn thing back, right? So how do you get the coach, Miss M? Okay, so do you see the website, Miss M? Do you see it there? You go to that website, you get to see all the medical proof, scroll down, and it says free consultation. And you just fill in your info and they'll get back to you. So confirm, Miss M, before I hang up. Does that make sense to you? And you can see it also right above your name there, Miss M, the New Health Conversation. I'll also put it in the bottom for everybody again, the New Health Conversation. Do you see that, Miss M? Oh, good. Okay, so that's what you do, Miss M. The coaching is 100% free, but they'll go over everything. But the reason we like you to go to the website and see everything first, because there'll probably be questions that the website may not answer, but the coaches can. They've done it. Look, they're coaching for free. Someone coached them. We call this pay it forward. If you ever saw that movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's really, really working. We're helping, tons and tons of people. Does that make sense, Miss M? Good. I mean, I didn't let you answer. I'm assuming that makes sense. Okay, well, everyone, I do need to close out this particular podcast. Please share it with your friends. My TikTok is at the New Health Conversation, at the New Health Conversation. Go there, like it, whatever, but turn some of your friends onto it. Everybody can go to that website for free, the New Health Conversation, and watch what's there, and then you get a free coach. So hopefully, Robin, I answered your question. I went over it. All right, everybody, I've got to run, but everyone have a wonderful rest of your night, evening, afternoon, day, because I know we're going all over the world with this podcast, and I'll be back on again today, probably around 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, everybody, thanks a million.